Chet, you guys have been preparing for this for the last few weeks, and what did it feel like to be out there and then have it be such a positive first game of the season?
It's great. First and foremost, win's always exciting, and that's the end goal of every game. And we've been putting in a lot of work to get to this point, and it's great to be able to, go out there and kind of show what we've been working on.
You guys kind of weathered 20 lead changes throughout the first 2.5 quarters. Late third, early fourth, what did you notice that you guys did at a higher level to break the game open?
Getting stops and getting rebounds, and then letting that feed into transition, and really playing with some pace and moving the ball well. And we found some good looks and were able to knock them down, and I think that was the separator.
Chet, all throughout preseason, it's gratitude was the word you used to be able to be out there on the floor. You get to put that jersey on your first regular season game. Is that still what you're thinking?
100%. Every day I wake up, I'm able to play basketball for a living. It's a great day in my book. So definitely grateful, but I also understand there's a lot of work to be done.
What were your emotions kind of leading up to this game? Did you have any jitters or any kind of thoughts about being the first regular season game, or is it kind of business as usual?
I'd say more excitement and I guess a little bit of anxiousness, just kind of like the waiting part, and knowing that eventually the ball is going to tip up, and all day you're just kind of waiting for that moment. So yeah, but a lot of excitement.
Mark was just talking about the way the game has slowed down for Shai and how well he sees it. Do you notice that in the way he plays? And then by contrast, in your first NBA game, did it feel fast to you?
Yes, you definitely notice it. When you look up at the end of the game, it just says 31 next to his name. You don't, it doesn't matter what happens in the game. It's kind of a theme, but he's a great player, and he has a lot of experience in this league. He's played for a long time now, and that's really paying dividends for him, and he works extremely hard. So I think all those things factor into the game slowing down for him and him being really comfortable, off the bat.
Mark was talking about you guys course correcting things that you need to fix. You said that you guys sometimes do it on your own, and sometimes the coaching staff kind of helps you guys figure it out. What's those moments like on the floor where you guys figure it out on your own?
Yeah, they're big. It can't be figured out with just one person. All 5 guys got to get on the same page, and that's extremely important in such a long season with so many possessions and so many ups and downs. It's important to kind of stick together and fix things together.
You're not the only rookie that played tonight. What do you think about Casey's performance?
Man, he played great. He hit some big shots, played defense on some really good players, and really stuck his nose in there all night long, and, he made great plays. And I think it's going to be a theme that we see throughout the season.
Chet, I'm only asking because you guys won, but looking back, that drive that Drummond got you and sort of battling him, do you think you're going to look back one day as sort of a welcome to the NBA type moment, or be able to look back kind of fondly on that?
I don't know on that one. Yeah, so I'll just leave it at that.
I'll ask you.
Just the offense for you guys tonight, 30 assists, the ball was really moving. Just overall for you guys on that end of the floor, just how did you think you guys came out of the gates?
Yeah, I think for a majority of the game we played the right way offensively. And we have guys that are unselfish and know how to play basketball. And with time, you only get better at that, playing the right way and sustaining it for 48 minutes. And I think we did so for most of it tonight.
Just Coach talked about you guys course correcting throughout this game. There were 20 lead changes throughout the night. Just what did you think of the way you guys were able to navigate just kind of the ups and downs that came with this one?
We stuck with the game plan. We know more than anybody that leads can come and go in the NBA, and we try not to focus on them, try to focus on what we need to do and what kind of coaches are set out for us to do. We did a good job of focusing on that tonight, and we did enough of it to win.
Talk about the bench. What they do for you guys, particularly that started that fourth quarter to push that lead.
Yeah, they got stops. I think it started with that. They got stops. Then Isaiah hit a couple big shots. They were moving the ball, playing fast. I think they're just playing to our identity. We know that when we get stops and we're able to play in transition, we're the best version of ourselves, and we saw that.
You've been consistently, gradually surrounded by more shooters since you've been here. I mean, tonight, 8 guys made multiple threes. With as much as you get to the rim, like, are you starting to feel that even more? Just the luxury of having more shooters out there around you.
Yeah, I think, like it's a little bit of both. We have a lot of, like, the staff does a good job of adding shooters to the group, and then for the guys that were here like before, like Josh, Lou, Dub, a lot of those guys aren't labeled shooters, but they work hard and they work on those little things to be a better basketball player, and it ultimately helps me out there. So it's a little bit of both, of adding shooters and also guys just getting better.
Mark was talking about your floor game a little bit tonight, and you talked about the way the game has slowed down for you. And that's a phrase you hear all the time, but from a player's perspective, what does that mean when the game starts to come slower?
The game for me has just become a learning curve, trial and error, and I've been blessed an opportunity to have a long leash in the NBA. A lot of guys don't, but yeah, I try things and I work hard, and the things that work I try to stick to, and I try to do them most often, and I think, I guess, as a result of it, it looks like it's slowing down. But I'm just figuring myself out as I go through the league like everybody else.
Tonight was Chet's first game, and obviously he has many more to come, but just from playing with him in preseason, training camp, and tonight, what do you see him adding to the team on both ends that maybe you didn't have as much of before?
He's a high-character guy, high-character competitor, and he's going to do whatever it takes to win. 50-50 balls, crashing in glass. Obviously, rim protection is what he hangs his hat on. But yeah, above his skill set and what he brings to the team in that way, his character is special, and he adds an edge to us for sure.
You guys started the game with a pretty good defensive unit. Then you bring Casey off the bench, and Isaiah looks like he's taking a step on the defensive end. What does that do for you guys to start the game with a good defensive end, and you bring guys, and then who's also that keep up that same thing?
Yeah, we pride ourselves on defense. All the games we've won them defensively, and we know that, and all 15 guys know that. So it's like a criteria for when we play. Like, you bring it defensively, or you don't play. So I don't think we have a choice. We play defense no matter who you are.
Mark said that you guys really ramped it up defensively in practice on Saturday and Sunday. Is there anything you can share from those sessions that you feel like you guys really improved upon to get you prepared for tonight?
Yeah, we went live a lot in practice, and like I said, we hang our hat defensively, so that was a big emphasis in practice. Was being there for each other defensively, talking, communicating, and making plays defensively. And like I said, we know when we get stops, we're able to be who we are offensively and pull away from teams and get leads. But yeah, we focus on defense the past couple of days for sure.
What is the key for you, from game to game or even quarter to quarter, when to seek out your teammates offensively and when to sort of take that on yourself, the scoring role?
Some of it you can sense in the defense, like matchups they put on you, coverages they start guarding you with. But a lot of it I like to just take what the defense gives me at the end of the day. So if they let me play in space and I'm playing one-on-one, I try to get to something comfortable. And if they send multiple guys, then I try to find the open guy. I'm not perfect all the time, but I try to go with that mindset every play.
Who's really held up defensively with Vucevic when
Ooze?
Ooze,
Okay.
yeah. And kind of was able to stretch him out too. What do you think of just the way that he's been able to make changes and evolve over the last 12 months?
Yeah, he gets better. Super young, obviously talented, and works super hard. I can say that about so many guys on the team, that they have tools and they work hard, and it's going to click for them. Maybe not right away, maybe not in 2 weeks, maybe not in a month, but it's going to click eventually because they do so and they stick to the script.
Thanks, Shai.
Jalen, you guys have been kind of working towards this for the last few weeks and really ramped things up defensively, Mark said, this past weekend in practice. How did it feel to be able to put that on the floor in such a positive way tonight?
It was fun. I feel like there's no like energy more than maybe like first game energy, just because everybody's finally ready to like kind of play another team, and you know the stakes are kind of higher because the games matter. So yeah, everybody was really excited, so that was cool.
What flipped in that late third, early fourth time period that you noticed?
I'll probably have to go watch it again, but I think defensively, like third quarter, they came out and scored, and I think we called like an early timeout, and then after that, I think our defense was really good. We started rotating really good, and kind of just being unselfish on the offensive end. I thought we did that good all night, but I think that kind of after the timeout of the third quarter, I thought we were able to rebound the ball really well and kind of get out in transition. And then we hit shots, obviously, which makes basketball easier.
Speaking of being unselfish, 30 assists for you guys tonight. Just what did you think of the way the ball was moving and the shots that you guys were able to generate?
I mean, that's a lot of assists. I don't know what the normal is for that, but yeah, I think guys are just playing unselfish. Everybody's kind of buying into how we like to play, and I don't think anybody really cares who's getting the shots and like how they come. I think a lot of our stuff has been get stops and kind of get out and run. I thought we were able to do that for the whole game.
What was your mentality coming into the game? You had the first 7 points of the game. Just what was kind of your energy level heading into this one?
I don't know. I think some of it was just being excited to play, just be aggressive kind of from the beginning, and then just kind of see where the game goes from there. You know, a lot of focus is going to be on Shai, so trying to be aggressive and find my spots, I think, is kind of important. I think I was able to do that, and you know, there's obviously going to be games where I'm not going to have the first 7, but just kind of mindset-wise, just coming out and being aggressive.
You guys often talk about as they play more about the game slowing down. Did you notice that any as opposed to last year at this time, and kind of what does it mean when the game slows down for you?
Yeah, it definitely slowed down. I wouldn't say it's not actually like slow motion, but it's just you start to understand where you're going to be at on the floor a lot more. And then just kind of over the summer, I think I was able to kind of figure that out. And it's fun to be able to kind of put a lot of that work to use, obviously, for today. But, yeah, just, you know, I feel like it comes to everybody, too. It's not just me. The rest of the team is also, you know, kind of figuring out their footing as well. So when everybody knows where they want to be and it's all cohesive, I think it makes us hard to guard, and it makes it easier for me to kind of pick out spots to be aggressive in.
You see things sooner than you saw them a year ago or whatever? Do you see plays developing, that kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I know where guys are going to be now. I know where I like to be at. I mean, just kind of like our offense, like I feel like a lot of the base is around the same, but, you know, just being able to kind of find cracks in like where I want to be at, I'm picking that up a lot faster than I was around this time.
All 5 starters made made 2 threes, attempted at least 3. What's it like just being in a lineup where everyone can step out and shoot it?
It's fun. I think a lot of guys last year weren't even kind of taking shots like that, so I know I wasn't. I think that might have tied how many I shot last year. So, but yeah, I think guys are just, you know, putting in a lot of work this summer to kind of stretch the floor. Obviously, when you have 5 guys that can do that, you know, it opens up the paint for us to kind of attack and do that way. So that's something the coaches have been encouraging. And, you know, you look at the modern day game now, being able to shoot threes kind of opens up a lot.
You guys kind of locked in as a unit defensively to make things tougher for them to get into the paint. What was the key to that, to just like playing as one to stop them from getting so many shots?
I think talking was kind of a big thing for us, especially during that thing. You know, we missed a lot of like rotation assignments, especially to start of that third quarter. We kind of came out flat, but we're doing a good job like understanding, you know, how to talk to each other and, you know, how to kind of push each other's buttons to get the best out of each other. I thought we did a good job coming together in that huddle. Coach didn't even say anything during that timeout. So, you know, I think we're just kind of understanding where we're going to be at on the floor. And I thought guys were just really ready to rotate. And, you know, I think we actually even overhelped, but everybody was flying around so much, you know, it kind of helped us out there.
Is there one guy that's the vocal talker on the team, or is it multiple?
I would say today it was multiple, but K-Rich isn't playing, but, you know, K-Rich just be talking, so. But, yeah, I think we did a good job. It was a lot of team talk, especially during that timeout.
Shoes. Where did that come from? Is it going to be a thing always?
Yeah, it's going to be a thing. I don't know where I came up with it. I did it a couple times in college. I have so many pairs of the Hardens and just, like, a lot of the same shoes in different colors. I'll probably continue to do it as long as they somewhat match. But yeah, as long as they're the same shoe, it's up for grabs.
I just want to ask you about Uz, fellow second-year guy. He really held up in that matchup with Vucevic, stretching them out too.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on just how he's grown over the last 12 months? Because that might not have been something he was capable of last year this time.
Yeah, he's way more physical. He did a good job of kind of pushing him up the lane and making catches tough. And then he just gives us another look at, versatility, and, we're able to kind of switch with him and rotate. And, he brings a lot offensively. He had a lot of big shots tonight, and, like stuff that people don't see, like little quick passes to a one more, like just rolling and kind of doing stuff like that. Like he did a lot. So he's starting to kind of figure out what he likes to do, and just kind of being more physical is a big thing for him, and I thought he did a good job tonight.
What, in your view, what is going to make this a successful season? How would you define a successful year?
I think everybody on the team wants to grow and kind of take on these new experiences together. And then kind of from there, I think it's just kind of sky's the limit for the team. But I think as long as we're kind of willing to learn and grow as a team and understand what we like to do, I think we'll be pretty good. But it's just kind of like one day at a time. We like to say stack them, just kind of stack days, not look too far ahead or, jump into any expectations. I think everybody's just trying to learn and understand each other.
You said no matter what happens tonight, 98.8% of the season is still left. What's your kind of immediate perspective on how this one went, some things that you really liked and some things that you can chip away at tomorrow?
Yeah, when there's a game that long, always things you did well and things you can improve on. We'll learn from both. The thing I was most pleased with tonight, I thought we course-corrected well in game. Game's never going to be perfect. But, rebounding in the first half was a little bit of an issue. Got that under control. Bad start to start the third. Came right out of that timeout, got that under control. And that's a skill that scales. When you can recognize that stuff in the game, the team can pull together and get the car back on the road. And I thought we did that in those two areas tonight.
Sorry, go ahead. You held their starting backcourt to, I think, 34% shooting. What tactically was working for you guys defensively on the perimeter?
It takes a team defense to be, to be good against players of that caliber. To zoom out on that one, I think, we want to be a team that improves with our experiences. We did not defend in the preseason, in camp, or in the games the way that we're capable of. And I thought we got great work in our practices over the weekend. And obviously that carried over tonight. And that's a skill that scales. You want to use every practice game to improve. And I thought that was an example of that.
Mark, to that point, the course correction in the defense part, they had 35 in the first quarter, 69 the rest of the way. What kind of changed after that first quarter?
I thought we defended them pretty well in the first quarter. I mean, it's the first game of the season. I thought they made some shots early. But our effort and engagement was good. And there's just going to be times in the season where you're well-intentioned and you're playing well, but the other team is in a rhythm or they're making some shots. That happened in the first quarter tonight. Sometimes it happens for entire games or stretches of games. And we have to have the maturity to differentiate between, when we're off track and when we're on track, and we just got to stay with it. And I thought it was an example of that.
30 assists for you guys tonight, and 17 of the threes were assisted for tonight for you guys. Just overall, offensively, what did you think of the way you guys were able to generate looks?
We want to be a team that the whole is better than the sum of the parts, and I thought we played with that intent tonight. There's definitely things we can learn. There's plays that we could have back and that we can definitely improve on, but the intent is what's important, because as we learn the pictures, as we build chemistry, that stuff will all improve. But the one thing we have to be able to bank on is that we've got a compete together team, and tonight we competed together, and that's the most important thing.
Can you talk about the effort the bench gave you guys, 42 points tonight, particularly the start of that fourth quarter?
Yeah, I thought really, really good, especially in the second half. I thought Oos, we went really small, really early there, and he gave us a nice lift, not only with the shot making, obviously, but his physicality with Vucevic. He was guarding Vucevic, which is a tough cover for him. Kaysen, Isaiah Joe was a stud on both ends of the floor tonight. Wiggins always gives it to you. So I thought Sarr's minutes were huge, for us to kind of stabilized the game. Those guys, all of them stayed ready and went in there and played their role really, really well tonight.
What do you think about the pace you guys had tonight?
I'm sorry?
What do you think about the pace you guys had tonight?
Really good early. And then, there's times in the game where we want to kind of slow things down, stabilize the game. I thought we did that, and then amp it back up at different times. I thought the stretch late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter, the stops and rebounds were what allowed us to get out and run and get some advantages. And then the guys delivered. They made open shots.
8 guys made multiple three-pointers, including all 5 starters, who each made 2. What did you think about kind of that distribution and the way you were able to create those looks?
Yeah, I think, we shot it well tonight, and some nights you do, some nights you don't. We don't have control over that. But the rhythm we were able to generate on offense is what's sustainable, and kind of like Brett's question, we want to be a rhythmic team, and we need to remain a rhythmic team when the shots aren't falling. But tonight, I thought the shot making was a result of generating really, really clean ones, and all 5 guys playing with an intention of trying to find the best shot on most possessions.
Chet handled the occasion, the things the Bulls threw at him. Anything surprise you?
No, not surprising. I mean, a lot of good and a lot that he can improve on. He's a competitor, and he's also a learner. He's a junkie, so I have no doubt he's going to dive into every single game afterwards and learn from it. And that we just have to start that process with him. But it's obviously, we're in the infant stages of his career.
What about Casey? What did you think about him this time?
I mean, it kind of not surprised. Went in there like he belonged. He does belong. Played his role really well. Played hard defensively. He's improved in camp over a short period of time on the defensive end of the floor, just catching up to the schemes. Guys have faith in him. He's a competitor. I thought that was all on display tonight.
Played 11 guys in the first quarter. Was that by design, or was that just how the game went?
No, how the game went. Lindy, 2-for-1 situations. Sar, to spot us a couple minutes with their size.
Shaking out like a minute and change left it in the first, different than his normal rotation. What went into that, and just what do you think about his night as a whole?
He told me it was a good night to get him. We talk about, not burning the 12 minutes every single first quarter for 82 games. He's always a great communicator and collaborator in those situations, and I think he was a little gassed just with the start, and so we got him a quick one. He trusts his teammates. That's how that's the case.
To the point about shooting, when you have all 5 starters who have the ability to stretch the floor, is that something you're intentionally looking for, especially around Shai, who has that ability to drive and get to the rim?
I mean, Sam builds the team, but he's done an incredible job of getting a diversity of players that know how to play, and most importantly, the types of people that naturally align with what we want to be about, which is competing together, being pros, attacking the program, and if they can shoot, great, and if they're below average, we're going to work with them. But it's more about the people, and it's more about the approach, and this team, has that stuff.
Shai gets 31. It seemed like he really read when help was coming. That kind of stuff. What did you just think of his floor game?
Yeah, great maturity as usual, but great example of a guy that it's taken him a long time to be able to cruise like that, and just for the game to slow down that much. I think it's a good lesson that can be applied to anybody on the team. We have a young team that's developing, and he's a guy that has put a lot of work in. He's grown through his experiences, and the game slowed down for him. And if we have a team full of guys that do the same, then their games will evolve as well. Takes time, though.
Bulls kind of had a little bit of success in the early on in the paint, and you guys seem to correct that, not points-wise, but just making it tougher for them. Was that point of emphasis at some point during the game?
Yeah, that's what I was talking to Brett about. The course correction I thought was impressive tonight. It's going to be different every night. The things that pop up in the game that you have to get on track with. And tonight it was that. And like I said, the that was tonight's challenge. But the skill that scales is the ability for the team to recognize that very quickly and course correct it very quickly together. And I thought we did that tonight.
When you say course correct, is that something that the coaching staff has to come to them, or they do it themselves on the floor?
We do. It's a combination at this point, though. It's just the power of continuity and the power of guys that trust each other, like working together. The huddles were vocal tonight. They have been in the preseason. They were. It's gotten more and more like that as time's gone on, and that's what's cool about having a group that's growing together.
Mark, at one point, a Bulls fan in the third quarter yelled, "Why is everybody open?" referring to the Thunder. Is that just a job that you guys have done well to keep the ball moving and find that open guy?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the intent of the players. The guys they had a compete together mindset tonight. It's hard to guard a team that's willing to do that possession after possession. We certainly had some possessions where we could have improved the execution of things, but I thought, like I said, the intent in the game tonight was team-oriented, and we've got to stay there. That's hard to sustain over the course of the season for a number of different reasons, so it's something we can't take for granted. We've got to keep our eye on it continuously.